when we look at the sheer volume of risks that our country faces, we don't have enough workers to meet that need. And we know a large reason why we're in this position is because when the Conservatives were in power, they massively cut Canadian Border Security Agency with massive cuts. In one day alone, the cuts that the Conservatives brought in resulted in 1,100 officers being fired. 1,100 officers were cut. So today, our announcement as leader of this party, the New Democratic Party, is committed to immediately, as Prime Minister, I would restore immediately those 1,100 workers so that we can have the resources necessary and the equipment necessary, and most importantly, the staff necessary to protect us, whether it's over rail or other ports of entry, make sure that we are protecting our country from illegal guns being brought into the country. We can keep our country safe. We can protect our communities, but it requires having the people that are the ones that can do this work, having them staffed up sufficiently so they can provide the services that they know how to do and they can do.
For years, the Customs and Immigration Union has been asking the government of Canada to hire more officers. We need more officers on the front line so we could interdict illegal firearms before they come into the country, along with other goods that we aren't going to get into the country. If I'm being completely honest, the situation on the ground at the CBSA is really bleak. Just to meet operational requirements, the CBSA would have to hire at least 2,000 officers. Right now, our one training center can graduate a maximum of 600 officers per year. That's all we're set up to graduate. 600 doesn't even cover attrition. The reality is that our staffing levels are so low at many ports of entry that our ability to do any kind of interdiction, including for illegal firearms, is close to nil. Rather than investing in people, what we see the CBSA doing is investing in ill-conceived technologies such as ArriveCam, which are entirely tailored to facilitation and not interdiction. They reduce national security. They make our communities less safe. At the same time, we have the CBSA's habit of hiring more managers than the frontline staff that they need. Combined, it's a pretty bad situation on the ground. Our officers, they're exhausted. They work under continuous conditions of short staffing. They are tired. Overtime in most workplaces is virtually unlimited, and that is just to keep the border running. It's a desperate situation. What our members need is support from the government. That support has to mean more officers. That support has to mean better training centers so we can train and graduate enough officers to bring those staffing levels up. That support means adequate tools, reliable tools that we can use. That support means being able to interdict and patrol between ports of entry, which is a big source of where these illegal firearms are coming from, which we currently cannot do. That support means benefits that are more in line with the greater law enforcement community. That'll help with retention. That'll help with recruitment. But what we really need is that support from the government. Earlier, June this year, federal government announced pension reform, which is extremely positive. It's something we've been seeking for many years. It's something that the NDP has supported us on for many years. It's very positive. We applaud the government for doing that, and we think long-term it'll have a very beneficial impact on retention. But it's a first step. There's so much more work that really needs to be done in terms of technologies that just lessen our security. We need to stop relying on that, and we have to start relying on people, on the officers on the front line who find the dangerous goods, who find the firearms, who search the cars, who search the bags. You need people to do that work. No machine is doing that, and we simply do not have the people in place. I would like to thank Mr. Singh. I would like to thank the NDP for committing to increasing our frontline numbers. They're the first government in my time, and I've been with this agency for 23 years to do that. It's a huge step forward to commit to relying on people rather than ill-conceived technologies, which again, lessen our security, don't increase it. Those are all about facilitation and getting people at the door with no questions asked as quickly as possible, because we simply do not have the staff to deal with them. The members who work for CIU, CBSA officers get into this line of work because they want to keep Canadians safe. They want to keep their community safe. That's why you do this kind of work, and they deserve to be given every tool that they need to be successful at that work. What we're hearing here today from the NDP That's exactly the kind of support that we need, and it is very heartening to hear. Thank you.
Thanks much. Appreciate that.